Storage in SaaS apps is usually well configured but poorly modeled. Past infrastructure, it's usually just strings, conventions, and implicit behavior. I wanted SaaScore.net to be a domain capability, not just infrastructure. So what's the problem here? Most storage bugs aren't in Azure or S3. They come from how we use storage in application code. Paths don't tell you, are we allowed to overwrite? Who owns this file? Whether it's a folder or a file. The design goal of SaaScore.net is to make intent explicit, make misuse hard, and trade a little convenience for a lot of correctness. So the shape of the API is storage is modeled with storage folder, storage location, storage file name, and also storage write mode. Invalid storage usage is unrepresentable. I'm just going to show you an implementation of uploading a file and retrieving that in using SaaScore.net's storage module. Okay, so we've got a single endpoint here, with a post endpoint with the tenant ID coming from the root parameter. Obviously, in a SaaScore.net application, that tenant ID will be pulled out from context, so it wouldn't need to be supplied in the root parameter. But for demonstration purposes, this is fine. So we can see we've got a tenant ID, a form file, which will be the upload, and the iStorage client, which is coming from SaaScore.net. So you can see here we've got the storage location factory where we're saying we want a new one. I'm going to add overrides in this which specify the tenant ID. But you can see here we've just got folder, images, tenants with the tenant ID. And then the file name is coming from the uploaded file itself. So I've just got try catch here. We're basically just awaiting storage upload, where we give it the location, the content type, and then the mode as well. So that storage write mode, we've got create only, and we've also got overwrite. For this first one, we're going to do create only. And then obviously, because we're using a minimal endpoint, we have to disable anti-forgery on that. So let's go to Postman and actually upload a photo. Okay, so here we are in Postman. We've got the address, and this is just a tenant ID that I've just made up, and upload file. So then the key for this is that within the endpoint, you saw it was the iForm file had a parameter name of file, which means that we have to have the key as file. And then we can just go and select this picture of my dog. So let's get the API running. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the API running. Let's go back to Postman and let's send the request. Cool, we've got a 200, perfect. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch to my Azure instance and then show you where it is within that. Okay, so we've got images here, and from what we saw, we should see tenants. Then we've got the GUID. I can't open that. And then here's my there she is. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go and try and upload the same image again and see what response we get then. The file's in blob storage now, and we're in create only mode. So if we run this endpoint again, we should see that we get a 409 conflict. Cool, so there we go, we've got a conflict, that's as expected. So let's get to the API and change it to overwrite mode. We'll just run the API again and then run the endpoint again. We should get a 200. Cool, there we go. So there's a 200. Let's go back to the Azure Blob and see the date and time last modified. Just realised you can't see the date and time, but it is in fact 3:43. So just as we've, it should be coming up to 3:44 now. So just as expected, we've got its last modified, and then obviously we've still got picture Lily. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate the retrieval of images from blob storage using the iStorage client. Okay, so we've got the API running and we've got the endpoint here. Now, obviously, I've just done this as a query parameter, but this would be coming from, say, your database where you're storing each blob path in there. So obviously, this URI escaped, and if we just go send, so now we get Lily. Very good. So if we quickly go and take a look at the code that's actually happening there, we can have a look at exactly what SaaScore.net is providing there. So we've got the storage location factory from key. So we've provided the key, they then can pass the folders from that and the actual file. Then we can give that storage location to the download. And then obviously from the result of that, which is a storage download object, we get the content type, and we obviously can default that to octet stream. And then we can get from the content info, we can get the file name because that's just held within metadata on the actual type itself. Okay, so now that we've shown you how to upload and download a file using the iStorage client provided by SaaScore.net, I'm just going to quickly show you how to change registration, and then we can talk about how you can extend this into other providers. Obviously, for the V1 of SaaScore.net, I'm only using Azure Blob storage, and obviously the in-memory one, but that's going to be for testing mainly. But you can obviously extend this into providing your own storage client. That you just have to fulfill these domain capabilities using whichever provider you would like. Okay, so here we've got use Azure Blob, and then we can just bind some app settings from the app settings.json. So we can change this to now use an in-memory one, and we start the API. Okay, so now that we've changed our implementation to be the in-memory provider, I have actually just wrapped this call in a try catch block and returning a not found because it actually throws an exception. But if we do that, we get a not found because there is no picture of Lily in memory because we haven't put anything there. So now we can upload the image into memory. Now when we do this, we can then get that image again. And I'm just going to upload another image as well. So 2 seconds for that. I've just found a picture of myself, which we can use to upload. So there we go. If we can get the name of that JPEG real quick. So when we send that, we get the 200. And then, okay, so we change the name of the file. And when we send the request, we get the picture of my face back. So that's how we're handling blobs and blob storage within SaaScore.net at the moment. There's a few other bits I'm going to do around that, such as more of the domain modeling side. I'd like to know your approaches and how you've implemented blob storage. There's obviously tenant isolation that I do have with this as well, that I've not shown within this video, but just giving you the domain contract for using the storage client. The tenant scoped one uses the same exact implementation for Azure. So if you like how SaaScore.net is turning out and you're enjoying watching and following along, please subscribe, and also go to the pre-release website for SaaScore.net, sign up, and yeah, we'll be sending out weekly updates now to those members, more in detail updates than this. Okay, thank you very much. See you in the next one.